Have you ever noticed how something that seems pretty straightforward at first can suddenly become way more complicated?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's exactly what happened with this situation in DeWitt, New York.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to take a deep dive today into an incident at a Walmart.
Supposedly there was a message from me. There's other emails that were fighting.
3403, can you go to Walmart, please? 3403, copy.
She really just, I got 90 in. No, you did. You can't see anything. What you gonna fucking do right now? They jumped my sister, hurt my sister. Get off my sister. Let me grab her. Why is that? Mine not doing my sister.
Back off.
No, get
Back
off
off.
my sister.
No.
Get off my sister.
Back off.
Leave him.
Back off.
Leave him. You're making my daughter.
Back off.
Get off of her.
Back off.
Get off of her.
Back off right now.
Sir, why are you doing that in front of kids?
Back off.
Don't touch me.
Back off. You're about to get the same shit. Back off.
Get your hands off. Leave him. Leave him. I'm black with you. I'm black. It's okay. Let him cuff me. It's okay. Go ahead. You can cuff me.
I'm going to continue.
You can cuff me. You can cuff me. Go ahead. It's all right. You can cuff me. It's fine. They charged my sister though.
Okay.
They disrespected my
Can I figure
sister.
this out, please?
You can cuff me.
When I walk up,
Mama.
and you're going aggressive towards them, I need to be able
They
to
try to charge my sister.
We're going to walk out to the car, and we're going to figure this out. You're just being detained at this point.
What you want to detain me for?
Right now, harassment.
Wash your eyes. The one that got sprayed with me. Because they jumped my sister just 2 days ago. They hurt my sister.
That one sprayed me.
They just hurt my sister. They just jumped my sister is a month pregnant. My sister is pregnant. My sister is pregnant. What? The other girl got mixed. They blind because they east or they white.
Hey, hold on.
So you're hurting my arm.
Hey, stop pulling away.
I'm not pulling away. I got beat by cops before. I'm not pulling away from you. I'm black.
We're going to go to the office.
Are they going to jump me? Wow.
Okay, let's go to the office.
All right, take me.
Come on.
If it wasn't for Esau, you would be fine, right? Come on. If it wasn't for Esau, I would beat your ass.
Let's go.
I would beat your ass.
Sign that arrest sheet and be right.
Take the kids. Take the kids.
One of the white.
I'm gonna leave. All right. No. My sister is pregnant.
Okay.
My sister is pregnant. No.
Okay, stop.
My sister is pregnant. She is pregnant. She is pregnant. Just a baby. I'm gonna leave. All right. No. My sister is pregnant. No.
What's your hand?
My daughter is right here. Get off of me. Yo.
Ma'am.
Get the fuck off of me.
Put your hands behind.
I can't. It is a dog. Get the fuck
your
off of
hands
me.
behind your back,
Get off of
or
me.
you're gonna get on the
Get off of me. I'm pregnant. Get off. Yo.
Stop.
My daughter is right here. You can't be seen. Get the fuck off of me. Get off of me. Yo.
Put your hands behind your back now. Put your hands behind your back at this point.
No, I'm not doing shit.
Crazy, bro. Yeah, that shit is crazy, nigga.
Yeah, I'm making sure she's there.
Please evacuate.
Woman, I stay bitches, bro. Woman wants to say I stay bitches, bro. Woman, my cousin, take off that bag, bro. Woman, cause I really do this.
Let me get my slide.
Stop. Stop.
Yo, that's fucked up.
Get on her side now.
It started as just a report of a fight, but then it escalated quickly, the police got involved, and now there are a lot of questions.
Sounds interesting.
Absolutely. So, we've got this news report that lays everything out. It really gives us a clear picture of what happened, like from the first call to the cops all the way to the charges that were filed.
Okay, yeah.
And what we're going to do is go through everything step by step. We really want to understand what the report tells us.
Makes sense.
Without taking sides or jumping to conclusions. We just want to get the facts straight.
Right, just lay it all out.
Exactly. So the report says that this all went down on July 4th.
Okay.
Around 4:55 p.m. The DeWitt Police Department got a call about a disturbance at the Walmart in East Syracuse.
Got it.
Based on that initial call, what kind of situation were the police officers expecting to walk into?
Well, it sounds like they were told it was a pretty chaotic scene.
Right.
The dispatch said there was a fight going on, and it involved like 5 or 6 people.
Wow.
But here's the thing. The call also said that employees were being threatened.
Oh, wow.
Like even hit. And that some customers had been pepper sprayed.
Oh, so it's already pretty serious.
Yeah, so the officers were heading into a situation where it sounded like assault had already happened.
Right.
And there was a real possibility that more violence could break out.
So of a very tense situation right from the start.
Definitely.
The report then talks about how one of the officers, Officer Spain, was directed towards 2 women at the entrance of the store.
Okay.
How did they end up being the focus of the police response?
Well, the report describes this footage from a body camera. And apparently, when the officers got to the Walmart, there was a guy at the entrance. And he pointed out 2 women and said that they were the ones who were involved in the fight.
Oh, so an eyewitness, basically.
Right. And those women turned out to be Tariana Edmonds and Tajanic Bird.
Okay. So their names are out there now.
Right. And so that's who the officers focused on first because of that witness statement.
Got it. Now, the article also mentions store surveillance footage.
Yeah.
Did that back up what the initial report said?
Well, the surveillance footage actually showed something that happened a little bit earlier. It was an altercation that lasted about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And, the police department put out a video later on.
Right.
And in that video, Lieutenant Pace, who's like the department's spokesperson, he says that the footage appears to show Tajanic Bird using pepper spray on another woman.
Oh, wow.
And the report actually goes into detail about it. It says that you see Bird pointing something at this woman who then covers her face and moves her kids away.
Oh, man.
So it definitely seems like the surveillance footage backs up those claims about the pepper spray being used inside the store.
Right, so it's adding up. So the officers got a description, they were pointed to these 2 women, and now there's video that seems to support at least part of that initial report.
Yeah.
What happened when Officer Spain first approached Tariana Edmonds?
So the report says that Edmonds was arguing with another customer when Spain got to her. It was during that argument, like while they were still yelling at each other, that Officer Spain grabbed Edmonds' arm from behind
Oh, wow.
and started to put handcuffs on her.
So he was trying to take her into custody.
Yeah, and I guess he probably thought she was involved in the earlier fight, and maybe even in this argument that was still going on.
Makes sense. And then her sister, Tajenic Bird, steps in, right?
Right.
That's when things seem to escalate even more. What does the report say about how she reacted to her sister being detained?
Well, when Officer Spain started to handcuff Edmonds, Bird tried to pull her sister away from him.
Okay.
And the report actually has a quote from Bird. She says, "Get off my sister."
Mm-hmm.
And then Edmonds is heard saying, "Let him cuff me."
Oh, interesting. So different reactions.
Yeah, it kind of shows how both sisters were reacting differently in that moment. Like everything's happening so fast, it's tense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's at this point, right, that someone else tells the officer about the pepper spray.
Exactly. While Officer Spain is trying to arrest Edmonds, somebody else there chimes in and tells him that Bird was the one who used the pepper spray earlier,
Oh, wow.
during that incident that was caught on the surveillance cameras. And that probably just confirmed to the officers that both of these women were involved in something serious.
Right. Makes sense.
And then Edmonds apparently said that her sister had been jumped a couple of days earlier and that she was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
So maybe she was trying to explain what led up to all of this.
Right. Try and give some context.
Yeah, but the report doesn't really go into detail about that.
Okay. And then Officer Bike steps in to deal with Tajenic Bird. What happened there?
Well, the report says that Bike basically swung Bird to the ground, got on top of her, and then handcuffed her.
Oh, so things got physical very quickly.
Yeah, it went from Bird just trying to pull her sister away to her being taken down and arrested in just a few seconds.
And while all this is going on, the report says that a crowd starts to gather and people are yelling at the officers.
Yeah, it sounds like things were getting really chaotic. The report says customers were surrounding the officers while they were trying to arrest both women, and they were yelling at them. And it's in the middle of all this that Officer Spain pulls out his taser.
Yeah.
But the report doesn't say that he actually used it.
Okay, so it was just a show of force.
It seems like it.
And then there's this moment that everyone's been talking about, this physical altercation between Tariana Edmonds and Officer Spain.
Right.
What led up to that?
So the report says that as Officer Spain was still trying to arrest Edmonds, she just kind of slumped down to the ground,
Okay.
and then she kicked a display of plastic boxes.
Right.
And after that, Officer Spain dragged her by her handcuffs and one leg. And at that point, the report says that Edmonds tried to bite Officer Spain,
Oh, wow.
and that's when he punched her in the face.
Oh, man. So that's obviously a major turning point in the whole thing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And the department's doing an internal investigation to look into that specifically.
Makes sense. Now, the article goes on to list all the charges that were filed against both women. Can you break those down for us?
Sure. So Edmonds is facing a bunch of charges. There's second-degree attempted assault of a police officer.
Okay.
And that probably has to do with her allegedly trying to bite the officer.
Right.
She's also charged with obstruction of governmental administration. That usually means doing something that gets in the way of law enforcement doing their job.
Got it.
And then there's resisting arrest, fourth-degree criminal mischief for damaging that display,
Okay.
disorderly conduct, and second-degree harassment.
Wow. So a whole list.
Yeah. And then Bird was charged with third-degree assault, which is probably about the pepper spray. Fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon. That would be the pepper spray itself.
Right.
Endangering the welfare of a child because of the pepper spray incident happening near kids. Possession of a noxious material, obstruction of governmental administration, and resisting arrest.
Wow. So they're both facing some serious charge.
They are, yeah. But the report does say that both women were released and given appearance tickets.
Okay. So they're not in custody right now.
Right.
What's interesting is how the DeWitt Police Department handled the aftermath of this whole thing.
Yeah.
The article calls it an unusual move. What did they do?
Well, the police department went ahead and created a 15-minute video about the incident,
Okay.
and they posted it publicly on their Facebook page.
Oh, wow. So they
Okay.
put it out there for everyone to see.
Yeah, and they used footage from a bunch of different sources, like the body cameras that the officers were wearing, the store's security cameras, and even video that someone who was there took on their phone.
Oh, wow. So a compilation of everything.
Right, and Lieutenant Pace narrated the whole thing.
Okay. So what was their reasoning behind doing that? Putting it all out there like that?
Well, according to the report, Lieutenant Pace said that it would be too early to say whether the officers followed department policy or broke any laws.
Right.
because the investigation isn't finished yet.
Makes sense.
So it seems like they put the video out there to be transparent, to give the public all the information they have so far, while also making it clear that they're still looking into it.
Yeah, I see. It's definitely interesting that they took such a proactive approach.
It is.
Putting all that information out there so quickly.
Right.
It kind of shows how important it is for police departments to be accountable to the public, especially in situations like this.
Absolutely. But it also makes you wonder if the way they presented the video, before the investigation is even done, could influence people's opinions.
That's true. It's like they're shaping the narrative early on.
Exactly. And that's something to think about.
Definitely. And of course, there's been reaction from the community about all of this.
Yeah.
The report mentions a protest. What can you tell us about that?
Well, there was a protest on Friday night in the parking lot of the DeWitt Police Department.
Okay.
It was organized by Hassan Bloodworth. He's a leader from Rebirth SYR.
Okay.
And they were there to protest what happened to the Walmart and to call for the police to be held accountable.
Right.
About 25 people showed up for the protest.
Got it. And the report says that something else happened as the protest was ending, too?
Right.
What was that about?
So as the protest was wrapping up, a few cars drove into the police department parking lot and started circling around.
Oh, wow.
And one of the protesters said they felt like the people in the cars were trying to intimidate them.
Oh, man.
And then a woman in an SUV parked her car, got out, and started yelling at the protesters who were still there.
Oh, wow.
They argued for a bit, and then the woman got back in her car and drove off.
So even after the protest, the tension was still high?
Yeah, it seems like the emotions from this whole incident are still raw.
Definitely. So to recap, we've gone through all the details laid out in this report. We started with that initial call about a fight at Walmart, then the officers identifying and trying to arrest those two sisters.
Right.
Then the physical altercation, all those charges that were filed, the police department releasing that video, and the community's response with the protest and that incident afterwards. It's a lot to unpack.
It is, yeah.
And what we've done today is really try to understand the information as it was presented in this one news report.
Right. We've looked at the details of the call to the police, how they figured out who was involved, the security footage, the arrests, the fight, the charges, the video, and the community's reaction.
Exactly. And it shows you how complicated things can be.
It does. There are so many different perspectives in a situation like this.
Yeah, Phil.
And different ways to interpret what happened.
I mean, think about it. We've got body camera footage, store surveillance, video from someone's phone. All of that plays a role in how we understand what went down.
And then you have the police department putting out their own version of events right away.
Exactly.
It makes you think about transparency, accountability, and how differently people can see the same event.
Absolutely. It's a lot to consider, and I think it's great that we've been able to dive into this and really think about all the angles.
It is, yeah.
It's something we should all keep in mind, the complexity of these situations and how important it is to look at things from different perspectives.
I agree.
So thanks for helping to break all this down. It's been really insightful.
You're welcome. Glad we could do this.
And to everyone listening, keep exploring these kinds of stories and keep asking those tough questions. That's what it's all about.